Greetings and welcome to my studio space. I'm so happy to be with you here today, and I wanted to share with you a project that we were working on for the last 2 days. I really wanted to be able to share with you some of the sacred art that I've been working on. However, this week I was not able to work on it at all. Because my children started school, and I'm a homeschooler. We homeschool our children, and I had to prepare all their lesson plans. We didn't. We started this week. We got our books in, and I prepared the lesson plan. So it was a busy week. But now we're all settled in, and I'm ready to start again. But just a couple days ago, my husband mentioned that our family had the opportunity to go with a group of people. He works at Priest for Life, and there was a gentleman there that was going with his parish to an abortion mill to do prayer and sidewalk counseling. And so we've done that in the past a lot. And since we moved here to Titusville, we have not, we haven't partaken in that. So we decided our family will go with them. However, the event got canceled. Now, when we moved here, I left all of my signs back at home. I gave them away, and we still have a couple in storage right now, but we like to make our own pro-life signs. I guess, I'm an artist, and I like to teach my children how to do that. So I just wanted to share with you the process that we do. It's very this is the one that I'm going to be holding. This is an example of one of these boards cut in half for each of my daughters to hold. Now, they started on theirs. I wanted to show you, kind of something that is pretty much completed, and these are halfway completed. And then I've got one that I've just got sketched out, and I'll do some painting with you today. But really what I wanted to do is just really briefly go through the process of how we make our pro-life signs. And this is my daughter Gianna's, and this is Mary Faustina's. And so they got to choose what they wanted to say. We agreed on it. They got to choose their colors, and then they put on the first coat of their paint this morning. And I did the sketch. I sketched out the letters for them, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then on each one, we decided to do a picture of a mother holding a baby. Now, this one that I've got here is one of the ones that I'll be holding. And then the one, for my husband, it'll probably just be simple with pray to end abortion or something like that. But anyway, what I wanted to show you is just a little bit of the process, because this is what we've been working on for the last couple of days. Now, even though our event got canceled today, we have an opportunity in a couple of weeks to go again to an abortion mill. So I wanted to just complete this project, and then I'll move back after this week gets settled with all of our homeschooling, and I'll continue on the sacred art and hopefully be able to share that with you again. Now, this here it's very simple. We went to the dollar store. We got a foam board, okay? Very inexpensive. And so we basically start with that. It's a good size. In the past, I've used a little bit better quality foam boards, and you can, with the better quality ones, you can make an image on one side and then also on another side. But I noticed with these ones, they're a little bit thin. So what I would do is I would recommend only to paint on one side of the foam board and not the other one. But if you are going to want an image for both sides, then I would recommend putting them together with some tape, okay, some strong tape, and then having two separate pieces because they're just a little bit, they're kind of see-through. You can, you'd be able to see if you painted on this side what was on it, so you wouldn't want that. Okay, so this is a blank piece of foam board that I'll be making my husband's letters for. Now what I like to do is just, I've always had a lot of stencils and different lettering, but I found when we were at the dollar store, just, picking up this foam board, I found some pre-made, just kind of pop out stencil letters, which have worked great. Okay, so you can get the whole alphabet, and I've got a couple of different sizes. There's that size, and then there's a smaller size, okay? And so what I like to do is just figure out, the words we're gonna use, and then for instance, for this one, you just lay out the letters on your board and then trace them out, okay? With this, I did a little sketch, okay? So I'm gonna show you my sketchbook. I guess we don't really need this one here now. My sketchbook, and I just did a little sketch of the image. Okay, this is, which one is this? This is the one right here. Okay, so just in preparation for that, I did a little, just a pencil sketch here. And then what I do is, just to make things very fast and simple, rather than re-sketching it all out on the board, I'll just photocopy the image, okay? So I'll just take this, I did an ink copy of this, and then I photocopied it and blew it up, and then just traced it on there. Now I'm not, I don't like promoting, tracing things, but I mean, I did the original image, so it's not, to me, that's not an issue. So I just, I blew it up to the size that I wanted, okay? And then I just transferred it onto the foam board. So then you don't have, your sketching and erasing and, and things that you have to, and to redo the whole thing on a larger size, okay? So that's a quick and simple tip for anybody who's wanting to make a pro-life sign, creating their own image to go along with the lettering, okay? And just for fun, I'll show you a few of the other sketches I did. This is just a simple one here, and this is going to go, with this image here, okay? And we'll paint it. And then this one, of course, we'll paint this one, and I did this little sketch here, okay, to go with that. And then the girls will have another coat or two to do on the letters, and then they'll paint the mother and the child. Okay, so then I want to bring you to this one that we'll be working on today. Now this one, I don't know if you can see it very well. It's done in pencil, just a light pencil sketch, and I traced the letters. It says abortion hurts women, okay? And then the sketch of the woman is this one here. I'll just show you the original sketch that I did in my sketchbook, okay? And that's a woman who's sad, and she's, she's had an abortion, and she's kind of hugging her knees, and that's supposed to be her teardrop, okay? So abortion hurts women. Now, after you've got the sign, everything in place for the sign, it's good to have nice clear lettering, nice thick letters. Choose colors that will stand out, because people will be, looking at your sign from a distance, hopefully, and so I mixed up some tones. Now these tones aren't as nice and bright and cheerful as the other ones. They're a little bit darker, and so I just wanted to show you my palette here. And this is the palette that a second palette that I mixed up for using the tones on the mother, okay? And we're just going to use the same tones throughout all 4 of the signs that I made. So on each mother and child, and in this case, it's just the mother. So today we'll just give this, I think, just our initial coat. Now, I'm using acrylics, okay, and I've been working with oils for so long. It's just really a different type of medium to work with. Now, acrylics dry very quickly, okay, so I keep my spray bottle handy, okay, and I just spray them down and keep them from drying out that way, okay, and I kind of just mix up my colors, and these are the base colors. The darker ones are just the outline. So we'll just do, oh, I gotta put this in here a little bit better. Now I'm hoping that you can see okay. Yeah, it looks like everything's fine. I'm using a new tripod today that my husband was able to use from work. So I'm just using that and getting used to that. Now I can see what we're doing here because I want to give you the wide angle view of the whole sign. But now with this just being a really inexpensive foam board, I would probably recommend just using the craft acrylics, although they don't, I did kind of a mixture. I used some of the more inexpensive ones and put some of my my better quality ones, just because the quality of it when you're painting, it just spreads a lot nicer. But you know, I wouldn't use anything really too expensive for just, you know, a little sign here. But what you might want to do is use a bit of a primer as well, because it takes up a lot of the initial paint on the surface, right, when you're first using it, and it will take a couple. Oh, I'm being sloppy right here. I'm gonna have to use a little bit of white to separate that, white paint to separate that. Okay, I'm gonna try to talk and paint at the same time here. So this is what we like to do. Our family makes our own pro-life signs when we go to the abortion clinics and abortion mills, and you know, you can make them in various sizes. The nice thing about the foam board is it's very light. It can get fairly easily damaged, so you have to take some precautions. So what I like to do is, when the sign is completed and it's all, you know, painted and it's ready to go, I like to just put a coating of Mod Podge over it, just a clear coat to protect it in case it rains. Okay, it protects it from other things smudging on the surface. Okay, a nice clear shiny coat, and I'd, you know, say at least a couple coats of that, and that's very helpful for protecting your work. Now, when you do use that, you have to make sure that your board stays flat. It doesn't kind of get kind of a curve to it because of the wet substance going on the foam board. So just, you know, you might want to lay it on a flat surface and put some books on the end of it, or some weights or something until on one side till it dries on, and then do the other side, just to make sure the surface stays nice and flat. Because I have seen and I have made signs, and you know, we did a project where we had them covered with the clear coating, just you know, some Mod Podge, and they kind of just curved a bit, so that you know, and it was kind of hard to get that off straightened once the paint had dried. So that's just a little tip that I've learned over the years of doing this. And then there's another thing that really helps to protect it when you go to finish up either just an individual piece, okay, or if you're going to put two pieces together like I mentioned, because just a brief, what I had just mentioned before is this foam board is fairly inexpensive, and you can kind of see through to the other side if you were to paint another image on the other side, just holding it up in the sunlight a bit. So, you know, you spend a little bit of time. It's not a lot of time, you know, doing this. All the edges don't have to be, you know, perfect. I mean, you know, it will take a couple of coats probably, and I like to just put an outline on it. But after that work, you know, you might want to take a second sheet and then put it back to back if you want to have a two-sided sign. Now, if you're only going to have like just the, you know, image on the one side, what the tip I'm going to share with you applies to both cases, because it really protects the edges of the sign. When you're, you know, going to these places, you throw them, your signs, in the back of the car, you know, the car, the trunk or something, and you grab them, and you know, you might have to set them down on the sidewalk, or you know, they need to be a little bit protected. So you just take some heavy tape, some electrical tape, or some what's the tape? The name of the tape? What's it called? I can't remember. It's just a heavier plastic kind of tape, and you can use, you know, I use black to give it a nice black border, and you just do each side. I don't usually go all the way around. I just do one side, cut it, another side, and then each side individually, and then that gives your edges a really nice protection from getting all dented and damaged, because the foam board can get dented easily. And just I'll share with you a kind of a funny story this morning. We have a brand new little kitten, and he decided to take a chomp out of my nice brand new sign here. So I don't know if you can see those holes right there. He decided he was gonna, you know, this was something new, and he was going to just experience how it tastes. So unfortunately, you know, we have some holes in this one now. It's not that big of a deal, and the tape, when I go to cover the border of it, will, you know, it will cover up some of that. But anyway, so like I said, until you get it protected with your clear coat and your, you know, your borders, your tape for your borders, you got to be a little bit careful about, you know, that getting smudged or dented or something. Okay, so we've got one word done. So what I'm going to do is just, I'm just going to continue talking now. You can see how it really, if you have everything kind of prepared, it's not that big of an undertaking, and it can be done as a group. My husband doesn't really, will make, you know, his sign for him, but the girls and I enjoy doing this together. So that's, you know, something that you can, and then that way you have a creative element, and you can make some nice bright colors in that. I'm just going to grab a different paintbrush, and we'll go and we'll work on another word here. I don't know if we'll have time to do the picture of the girl today, even though I do have all of the colors mixed up, but it's a little bit of a challenge to paint and to keep the conversation going here. Okay, so I'm just going to switch and work on a different tone now. So this little palette is all you really need to mix up some colors, and we'll do a different tone down here. Okay, so it's quite easy. This is, again, it'll take a couple of coats, just, you know, to get rid of some of the streakiness. With this one I did earlier. I worked on this yesterday and a little bit this morning as well. After I had put a couple coats on the letters, then I just outlined them with a deeper tone of that same color. Okay, and then the same kind of goes for working on the image of the woman, the mother, working with skin tones. Maybe I'll switch over to working on that just a little bit to show you, because that's kind of an interesting process to do that. rather than just the lettering. So just let me get, we'll switch over here. This sign says abortion hurts women, and I'm gonna change over from doing work on just the lettering, and I'm gonna actually work on the mother, just the skin tones, and show you how I do that, since I have them all mixed up and they're all ready to go here. I might as well do that, because letters are pretty straightforward, you know, you just follow the outline and that. So I'm gonna put these colors away, and I'm gonna grab a different paintbrush. Now I'm gonna move this over here. Let's see, so we can, how can we do this? So I'm just gonna bring my easel up a little bit so that we will concentrate. Maybe that's a little too close for you. Just getting used to this new tripod and that, but that should be okay. So I will grab this other palette. Now I'm just gonna spray it down because like I said, and actually I'm gonna put my first palette with my letter colors away in a container, just a plastic container covered. Okay, I'll just show you what I'm doing here, just to keep it airtight, okay, because the acrylics really do dry very quickly versus, you know, when the oil paints. So I'm spraying this. Oh, I hope I didn't get any spray. No, I didn't. Okay, I'm just spraying that down here with a little bit of a spray bottle. Okay, and I'm just gonna grab a paintbrush I can use to get started here. Okay, these are just, now I'm gonna try to show a few different tones of the woman, and what way actually help is if I put this one up here as well. I don't know if it'll fit, just give me a second. So we can refer to this one while I'm painting the other one. Okay, well, it's a bit of a reach here, but I think I can do it, just according to the way I've got my tripod set up here. Okay, so you can see that there's different grades of, now I'm going to blend them in a little bit better, but this is just the a little bit of a reach here to do this, but hold on. Okay. Okay, we'll start it out this way. I think what I'll probably do is end up bringing that in a little bit closer, but okay, so you just start with your first coat with your skin tone, and then you always, you know, if you're gonna make a simple image like this, you're gonna want to have like shading on one side of the area of skin and light on the other side. Okay, so we'll just make this area our shading side. Okay, and then we'll put the lighter tone over on this side, slightly lighter. Okay, when it dries you can kind of see a little bit more of the difference. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm wrong. I used both the same tones for this area right here while I was talking. Let me get another paintbrush, and I'll just use a little bit of a darker tone. I thought that was, but it wasn't. So we'll just make, yeah, one side of the skin a little bit darker to have a one-sided lighting effect, okay, like this here. So we've got light and then mid-tone and then dark, and then you can just, you know, blend them together after you get them put in there. So okay, now this is a picture of a woman who is sad. The message on the sign is abortion hurts women. Okay, so whereas this one here is love them both. So it's the picture of the mother holding the child. Okay. And put the darker tone down there. And switch over and bring some of the lighter tone up here. Okay, so just the way I have this situated, I'm really reaching all the way across kind of my easel, and this is about ready to fall. So I'm going to bring this one a little closer here, so it's not quite such a reach for me. And I don't know what that's going to do for you. Well, it's still okay. It just brings the area up a little closer, so it's just not such a reach for me. So I'm going to work on the face here, and okay. So you can see how when you have a simple illustration like this, you just want to fill in your first coat of pretty much your mid-tones, middle tones, not your lightest, not your darkest, but you know, you keep things pretty simple when it comes to, you know, a sign like this. So just a matter of filling in that first coat of skin tone, okay, and then the way that we can get a little bit of a variety of color here and shading is just to make one side lighter and the other side a little bit darker. It doesn't look like much right now, but you know, it just takes some time to fill it all in. Have I still got some people here with me? Okay. Well, it's just nice to do this here with you today. If there's any people that are interested in, you know, making pro-life signs, I could just share what I've learned, and it might inspire you to make your own. It's actually quite simple, inexpensive, and the biggest thing I've always found in the past when I've done pro-life signs is the lettering. So if you really do need to have you know, a steady, well, I don't know, I've just never really found that when I freehand my letters, they turn out really, really well. That's just me. You know, there might be some people out there that are really good at doing letters, and they might turn out great, and you know, that's awesome. But I always need some kind of a stencil for my letters, because if I do it freehand, that's the area that I'm really unsatisfied with if I would do my letters freehand. So if you have some kind of, you know, a little bit of a stencil that you can use, like I was showing you those little letters I got at the dollar store. They were so inexpensive, and I got a couple of different sizes, and they just work so well. So you just place them on your foam board where you want them to go, and then, you know, just trace them out. So we were even thinking about gluing them on, because some of them are a little bit shiny and the girls like the different colors, but we just decided to keep it kind of simple and not worry about gluing stuff and with it peeling, you know, in the future or something. And so we just traced them out and then just covered them with paint. Okay, so let's see here. How is this image coming along here? What have I got? Well, this is this, okay. And okay, so you see how you just kind of rough it in, and then it doesn't look like much when you first start, of course, but then you just continue on. Now, today is the feast day of Saint Clare, a beautiful saint, and Franciscan, and she is the patron saint of television. And so with doing this live stream, I just pray to St. Clair that you be with us this day and help this message to go filled with grace, and let it be pleasing to the Lord, and to help bring about a culture of life and for the end of the scourge of abortion. And St. Clair, pray for us. Okay. Oh, I got my little kitty cat running around here. I just hope that he doesn't knock anything over. He's being really rambunctious today. And he took a chomp out of my nice new sign. So, hopefully I'll fix that up a little bit. Okay, so here we go. That's just the first coat. It's really rough, really, needs a lot of work, but that's just a really quick first coat too. I mean, you can spend more time and, build up the paint a little bit when you're doing that first coat, but that's how that would go. And then I'll just do one more section here, and then we'll close the stream, because I don't know how long you want to stay with me while I'm painting here. It's interesting to a point, and then then after a while, it's just really is just kind of at this point just kind of not I guess you wouldn't say filling in the blanks, but it's just a very simple process. So okay, so she's got her hair kind of down. It's a little bit more of a sad picture. Okay, and that. So the darker colors, the brown, this will definitely need a couple of coats, because you can see right here it's pretty streaky to start with. Oh, okay. And then with this, I don't do an outline for the image of the people. In some illustrations, I do an outline, just depending on what you're using them for. With these, I'm not going to, because of the, there is a dark outline with the hair, and then against the white, and it's just a pro-life sign. But we might use the images for other things as well if they turn out. We can use them for some memes, or for some doing some messages in that type of an area. So okay. And then I'll just put a couple of different tones in the hair, a little bit of a lighter one. But this one, actually, the first color I used really has to get a lot darker, so that we don't have those streaks in there and that. So anyway, I think I'm going to close the stream now. I'm so thankful that you stayed with me here today, and it was very nice to share our projects with you. And I hope to get back to my sacred art and share some of that with you next week, if I can get caught up on some of it and have more to share with you than I did the last time. So, but this is just a little project that we've been working on the last few days with our family, and I wanted to share it with you because it was just all ready to go. It was kind of like it was meant to be here. So what would be fun is if anybody out there has made any of their own pro-life signs, just to put it in the comments and to share it with us. I'd love to see what y'all have done for your pro-life signs and that. So with that, I think we're going to close. And it was so nice to be with you here today. I hope you have a very blessed Saturday and a beautiful day tomorrow. And please be assured of our prayers. We pray for you every day, and it's such a blessing and a joy to see all of your beautiful comments on our pages and our group that we're together with here. My husband brings us the live streams, and he's been really busy at his other job, so we haven't been doing that quite as much as we have in the past, but we'll hopefully, when things kind of settle down a bit, we will. So I thank you so much for being with us, and I'm going to close the stream right now, and I hope that you'll be able to join me again soon. Okay, God bless. Bye-bye.